You know you can call into the show, by the way. There's a lot of people on our Ustream feed, and we've got people listening live. 219-2-DAVID-P. You can call in. You can weigh in on this. And, of course, the new website, davidpakman.com. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about what's going on with the whole daylight savings time thing. We rolled the clocks back over the weekend. Number one, Lewis was incredibly confused about this. I got a text message from Lewis on Saturday night saying, I didn't get a Dave Pakman Show newsletter for tomorrow. And I said, well, we don't do shows on Sundays for now. That's why you didn't. Apparently, Lewis thought instead of going back an hour on Saturday night, we were going forward an entire 24 hours, right?
That was just general confusion from fatigue and being a bartender.
You were bartending at the time.
I was.
I looked into this daylight savings thing, and I started, over the last couple of years, I've been thinking, does it really make sense to do this anymore? And I actually don't think it does for a number of reasons. Number one, it's expensive. Let's just assume it takes everybody 10 minutes to change all of their own clocks and watches. This is just under $4 per person. So if you add that all up to everybody who observes daylight savings time, which I guess it's some parts of Arizona don't, and maybe Indiana, I think Indiana may have changed this, it's about $800 million each time, and we're doing it twice yearly. So it's $1.6 billion we're talking about. If you don't care about that, and I know, Lewis, that you don't, you're not worried about the $374 that you spent changing your clocks, it causes more people to have seasonal depression because there are far more people awake at 6 p.m. than at 5 a.m. So the idea that the sun comes up earlier, it goes down later, more people are spending more time in darkness. Seasonal depression is going to be higher. There's more car accidents because there's more dark driving hours every day. So 350 extra accidents per year is the estimate. What sense does it make to do this anymore?
But we've been doing it for so long, and it's just so ingrained in us, we're not going to change it.
We changed the date a couple years ago from sometime in October to November. And crime also. Many more crimes are committed during evening hours than early morning hours. And we know, Lewis, as you know very well, being a bartender, the criminals tend to get up late and stay up late. So we're providing the cover of darkness to people.
Well, I think we're getting into ridiculous arguments now.
You don't believe that makes sense? It's just logic.
I'm not a fan of it either. I think it's an annoyance. I think it's unnecessary.
And it just really doesn't make sense.
It causes confusion, and why bother?
Listen, that argument is fine. But the argument of the expense, the seasonal depression, the car accidents, and there's really no energy savings to speak of. I mean, again, far more people are awake at 6 p.m. than 5 a.m. The number of people who need to have their lights on earlier in the afternoon far would outweigh the energy savings that you would get by not needing the lights on at 5 a.m. Don't you think?
Probably.
Okay, we're going to go to break. I want to say thank you to a few people, new David Pakman Show members, John S., Benjamin Y., Becky D., and Olivia R. Thank you very much, and a special thank you to Richard McCullen, a level 3 member at davidpakman.com. We'll take a break.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
The David Pakman Show is made possible by listeners like you and by Greenfield Savings Bank, building a strong community one account at a time, with neighborhood offices in Greenfield, Amherst, Conway, Shelburne Falls, South Deerfield, and Turners Falls, and online at greenfieldsavings.com. By the Daily Hampshire Gazette and GazetteNet.com, connecting our communities with local news and information. By DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at DIFdesign.com. Find out more about underwriting The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.